If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Good to have you on board here on a Wednesday. We're live in downtown Las Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino. Busy hour coming up. Matt Youmans on the program. A couple of bets in the NBA. He has a Heisman bet that he wants to share.
How about that?
In 30 minutes. Here we begin the hour talking college football with professional sports bettor Paul Stone. He is on the Progressive Guest Line, and you can give him a follow on X. He is at Paul Stone Sports. Good afternoon, buddy. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Doing well, man. Glad to be with you guys. Glad to have some week one numbers out, and college football will be here before we know it. Memorial Day right around the corner. So hot and heavy. Looking forward to it. Yeah,
good job by DraftKings. They posted win totals, and they have numbers up for week 0 and week 1. And with this, the evolving landscape of college football and how tricky it is, and you do this on a daily basis, 365 days over the year. But at what point did you get comfortable, you think, this offseason with your power ratings to the point where when the numbers were going to come out, you were ready to make a bet for week 1, for games of the year, and for win totals overall?
Well, I'm waiting for games of the year to come out. That's really what I like to focus on. But right. I tell you, I'm not entirely comfortable right now, Mitch, to be just brutally honest about it. I mean, it's just such a changing, evolving game with the advent of NIL, year-round free agency. There's so much roster turnover. I mean, we've heard coaches say, I used to build a program. Now I just try to field a team from one season to the next. And, in the old days, some guys, I didn't so much do this, but some guys would take their year-end power rating from the previous season and kind of use that as a starting point for the next season's power rating. But I don't even know if that's viable anymore. I mean, there's so much turnover. You got, 45, 50 new players on rosters. So it is just a voluminous process. It's so labor intensive, and just always working on it, always reading, trying to, gather information and try to determine, if this unit's better, if the offense as a whole is better, so forth and so on. So it's an ever-evolving process. The workload's never been heavier.
All right, let's start off with a bang. I think this is your strongest play. This is week 1, Monday, September 1st, TCU plus 2.5 against Lombardi and Belichick.
Yeah, I tell you, Bill Belichick, obviously a renowned coach, won 6 Super Bowls with the New England Patriots. But I'll say, first of all, him going to the college game from the NFL, 1, Tom Brady was with him for all those Super Bowls. Tom Brady, obviously not at North Carolina. And 2, that was then and this is now. And I mean, to be frank about it, we'll just talk about the elephant in the room right off the bat. This is a 73-year-old man with a 24-year-old girlfriend. So I think his priorities and level of commitment, it's fair to question those. You've got to wonder where his head is, if he's working as hard as the guys he's competing against. And I'll add this as well. Even before Jordan Hudson became a household name, at least for sports fans, guys like you and I, even before that, I personally never thought Belichick was going to be wildly successful in the college game, and I still don't. There's nothing in my mind to suggest that he's going to be successful in the college game at a school like North Carolina. And the reason I say a school like North Carolina, they're slotted in a certain spot in the NIL national pecking order. And I don't think they've got the treasure chest that some of the schools they're competing against do. I mean, the quarterback that they settled on, Gio Lopez from South Alabama, he's a dual threat guy, good quarterback. Didn't make any of the top 3 teams, though, all conference in the Sun Belt last year at South Alabama. So that tells you a little bit. Again, it's about acquiring talent. In football, you've got to get the best players. That's certainly applies to the college game as well as the NFL game. And the way acquisition of talent in the college game is so different than the NFL game. There's no draft. It's all about how much money do you have in NIL, and usually the player goes to the highest bidder. So I think he's at a little bit of a disadvantage in that arena. You're looking at a North Carolina team that was ranked, I think, number 9 in transfer portal rankings as far as the players they obtain, players coming and going by one service. And I just don't see that. I think they were net losers in the portal. They lost some of their very best players. Their top defensive player, Amari Campbell, goes to Penn State. Their top pass rusher, Bo Atkinson, goes to Ohio State. Lose at least 3 other defensive players to Power 4 destinations. So they lose a lot of good players. TCU's got the better roster. They've got a third-year starting quarterback in Josh Hoover, got good running game. They've got a nice core of receivers. Defense is going to be better this year for the Horned Frogs. I think TCU should be a small favorite. I like TCU plus the 2.5 that's available out there in the marketplace over North Carolina.
Okay. Would you take pizza money 20-1 that Belichick isn't coaching that first game?
I might take a little pizza money on that, Pauly. I just think there's just so much, there's so much stuff up in the air right now. I mean, there are reports we were talking about off the air that she's told friends that they're engaged. Mm-hmm. I mean, if I'm 73 years old and I'm engaged to a 24-year-old woman, I might quit coaching.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, how long are you going to live? I might make the most of my opportunity. So you just got to wonder, man, this is just crazy. I mean, sports always gives us things to talk about. There's always twists and turns that come out of nowhere. And this is certainly one of them. I mean, Bill Belichick coaching college football, who would have thunk it? And he's got a 24-year-old girlfriend. So crazy stuff.
Which one's the bigger upset?
Probably
it might be the girlfriend.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think the 24-year-old girlfriend. I mean, to me, that's Appalachian State over Michigan. I mean, that is all right. Or Stanford over USC. Stanford was getting over 40. I think it's Stanford over USC, whatever year that was.
What do you think about this? Northwestern's catching 7.5 against Tulane. Too big of a number there. Could they pull off an upset here and win the game outright?
Yeah, this is a play. I like Northwestern, and it's not so much a play on Northwestern as it is a play against Tulane. And again, did anybody lose more than Tulane did, I should say, in the portal? I mean, just going down a quick list, they lose their quarterback, Darian Mensah. He goes to Duke. They lose not only one of the best backs in Group of 4, maybe the best back in college football returning in Macal Hughes. He goes to Oregon, 2,800 yards almost rushing the last 2 seasons. Their top 3 wide receivers declared early for the NFL draft. Those 3 guys combined for 2,100 yards receiving last year. Their tight end, Alex Bauman, goes to Miami. And their 3 top offensive linemen, they graduate. They exhaust their eligibility. So their offense is not the same offense any shape, way, or form. And oh, by the way, their quarterback, TJ Finley, the guy they brought in, and if you went to college, he's probably played at your college by now. TJ Finley gets in some legal trouble towards the end of spring training, some criminal charges there. He abruptly leaves the program in April. They're left without a quarterback. They have to go out and get Brendan Sullivan, who, if you remember, started games at both Northwestern and Iowa. He's their likely starter, probably going to start against his former school, Northwestern, in this opener. Again, Northwestern getting 7.5 points. I thought this was going to be below 6. And I think Northwestern clearly has the quarterback advantage as well. Preston Stone, who played well at times for SMU before losing the job early last season to Kevin Jennings. He's going to be Northwestern's quarterback. I take Stone over Sullivan at the quarterback position. I like Northwestern plus 7.5.
2.5 minutes left. How about a win total? Stanford, 3.5. Andrew Luck comes in as GM, fires the coach after an investigation. Frank Reich is the interim.
Yeah, and much like what I've talked about, it's all about the roster. And Stanford, man, they just lost everybody. I mean, I won't go over each and every player, but their top defensive player, David Bailey, 12 sacks the last 2 years. He's off to Texas Tech. They had a true freshman wide receiver, Emmett Mosley, the 5th. At the end of last year, this guy in his final 3 games had 26 catches for 332 yards. He goes to greener pastures. He's off to the University of Texas. And at least a dozen other players, including a host of starters, left for Power 4 schools. So all their better players getting poached. You look at their schedule, they're favored by 2.5 at Hawaii to start the year. So that game's kind of a toss-up. At the end of September, they host San Jose State. I think they'll be favored by about 4 in that game. So that game could go either way. And then the only other game they might be favored is going to be a home game against rival Cal there in November. And again, they'll probably be less than a touchdown favorite, just guessing. A lot can happen between now and then in that game. So they might be favored in 3 games. There's no automatic wins anywhere. They've gone 3-9 for 4 straight years. I think 3-9 would be great. I think Circa has their win total at 3 there, but you can find some 3.5 minus 115 at DraftKings, also under 3.5 at FanDuel. I don't think Cardinal is going to win more than 3 games, probably 2. I like Stanford under 3.5.
Wow, very good. You also like A&M to go under their win total, huh?
Yeah, it's 8.5, and it's all about the schedule. When we look at these regular season win totals, guys, and looking at their schedule, they play road games this year against Notre Dame, LSU, and Texas. Those are 3 pretty good schools. They're all going to be ranked in the AP preseason top 10. So if they lose all 3 of those road games, if you get the under 8.5 heavily juiced, they can't lose another game and go over. So I like this A&M game to go under the 8.5. There is some 7.5 out there, but lay the juice, take the under 8.5. They additionally have trips to Arkansas and Missouri, not tap-ins there. And they also have home games against Florida and South Carolina. Both those schools going to be preseason top 20. A tough schedule for A&M. I don't see them going any better than the 8-4 that they went last year. I like A&M under the 8.5 wins.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, Paul. Great talking college football with you. Great breakdowns. Thank you for the time here in late May. We appreciate that.
Hey, love talking with you guys. I'll be here before we know it, and good luck to everybody.
Yep, back at
Thank
you.
you.
He also likes Baylor plus 2.5 against Auburn right away in week 1.
Notre Dame, Wisconsin from Lambeau next year.
That's right.
Good job.
Glad I might have to go to that game.
Get in there.
You can follow him on X. He's at Paul Stone Sports. Up next, a VSiN host has a strong opinion about live betting NBA games. Hear what he had to say next.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. It is Follow the Money. We're live downtown Las Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino. Tomorrow, by the way, 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific. On the desk with us simultaneously, Derek Stevens, Mike Palm, Jeffrey Benson here at Circa. They are going to announce all the details that you need to know for the Circa football contest this year. That means Circa Millions, Circa Survivor, what's the guarantee, and if there might be something new added to the menu.
Internet conjecture is a big boy, a huge entry fee for a Survivor, which appears to be false. I think that's too high, what's been rumored and floating out there. But we'll get a big announcement tomorrow, no doubt about it. Can't wait. And then sign up start. And we actually have football in July. Hall of Fame game in July. Right. Let's go. Let's do it. Going to be fun.
Okay, so the point spread for tonight's game 1 here, Knicks Pacers. New York is a 4.5 point favorite. Overall, do you think that's the right number?
No.
Do you like the Pacers?
Yeah, it's too high.
Okay, so
I think the Pacers are the better team, and this hasn't been a great home court advantage for the Knicks.
Agreed.
They almost went 0-3 against Detroit. They got hammered at home in Game 3. Good job beating the Celtics in Game 4, and then Boston quit, and the Knicks were awesome in Game 6. So Indiana's also 4-1 on the road in the playoffs. Toyed with the Cavs. They were awesome in that series offensively, and I just think they are the hotter team right now, playing unbelievable ball since January 1st, as we've talked about. with that record, and I think they're going to give the Knicks fits with what they do with the depth standpoint and how dangerous they are offensively. As I mentioned, right now, first 2 rounds, their effective field goal percentage is a record.
So you'd be more inclined to take the 4.5 tonight than to wait in play. You think there's a chance the Pacers might jump them early and
and I'm very strong on Pacers first quarter though too, because their starting 5 has been dynamite with a plus 22 net rating, and the Knicks starting 5 has been outscored in the playoffs. Think about that; it's astonishing.
Right. So last night there was money on the Wolves for most of the day, right? And those 7.5s that got wiped out, it turned into like 6.5, and then it was fluctuating between 6.5 and 7 pretty much a lot of the day. This is what VSiN host Matt Youmans, and he preaches this all the time on primetime, because you're going to get massive swings. Fluctuation will be off the charts here in the NBA. Teams can go on 16-2 runs in the blink of an eye. This is what Matt Youmans had to say about Game 1 last night.
You and I talked about this yesterday. If you put this number at 10, I would have bet this pregame. I would have taken 10 with the T-Wolves. I'm not taking 7 or 7.5. So I think the adjustment's right. But again, we talked about this so many times. I don't want to repeat it over and over again like a parrot, but you know what, Tim? It's to your advantage to live bet these games and not take too big a position pregame most times. And I guarantee it.
Oh, guaranteed.
Tonight, that you will get better than 7 if you just wait and live bet the T-Wolves.
You could have, absolutely, in the third quarter and in the fourth quarter.
Now, that is a great discussion about how many times that is, you could say both sides, that you're going to get a better number and just wait and don't do anything before the game.
Well, and I'll say this, the numbers that you would have gotten late on the Wolves probably didn't cash last night because they got blown out. But if you flipped it and said you wanted to wait to get a better number on the Thunder, you had a better number the entire half. Mm-hmm. And then at halftime, you could have absolutely unloaded. And that would have been
$1.40.
Now, again, the 7s, the 6.5s, the 7.5s, whatever, all those numbers got there last night. But if you played the waiting game with the Thunder and you were patient, you absolutely got much better than that. And what were they? You said this earlier. Yeah, $1.40. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
$1.40 to win the game at halftime.
Mm-hmm. Even Game 7, it was 21-10 Denver. And then the huge run came by OKC.
But that happens. It might not be the case every single NBA game, but it probably happens in most of them, or a lot of them anyway. Both sides, whatever you're looking at some point, then the discussion will be like, well, I can get a lot more down potentially pregame. We understand that. That's implied. Okay. I'll tell you this, though. If you're betting live games at Circus Sports, they'll take a healthy chunk.
Oh, yeah.
Live.
And it won't spin. It'll never spin either.
Goes right through.
Bam, right in. Love it. Another good example also could be, it should be in play with 222. You know, you were dead last night. 6-point move on the total. You had no shot. And the pace was slow, and it was a grinder. I don't think this will be a grinder. And I know Zach Cohen wrote about this today, VSiN.com. The team that wins this series, the tempo probably will dictate what will happen. And I think the Pacers will dictate and control the tempo. But that's also great to look at right off the bat. Will it be this frenetic pace? Are the threes going down early? And are the Knicks going to run with them? And I think they will. And you saw some high-scoring games last year when they met in that great series. Home team won the first 6. Then the Pacers shocked the Knicks in the Garden, although they had all those injuries, and they shot 67% from 3 in that game to blow them out.
Also, we're now, okay, so here's some buyback now in this game tonight. Because, again, earlier this morning, the total was 224.5. Throughout the course of this show, the total got as low as 221.5. And now on the screen at the major national books, the total is 222. And at BetMGM, it's back up to 222.5 for tonight's game. So it came down initially, a good 3 points, and now it's back to finding a middle ground of where it was earlier today.
Yeah. Well, I hope for a great series. This is awesome here with the Knicks and their fans, and they deserve it. It's been 25 years. Been a long time coming. But the strange thing is 7 straight meetings have been decided by double digits, which I cannot believe. Mm-hmm. So even though we went 7 last year, a lot of those games weren't competitive.
Official bets that I have for tonight or for the series, I do have Josh Hart plus, we're dueling on this one. I have Josh Hart plus 550 to lead this series in rebounds. And I did I did tail Dan Karpuk at VSiN.com. I took Benedict Matherman over 10.5 points, laid 10 cents with that. His numbers against the Knicks this year were phenomenal. He averaged more than 25 points per game, and you know that he's going to get a lot of run because that's who they are and what they do. And in his career, he's averaged almost 20 points per game. Dan also played, he scored 20 tonight at 7-1. I didn't get that nuts.
Yeah. I more I think about it, I should go Brunson props too.
Well, that one at BetMGM, Willie scored 20 points in every series. It was minus 110, I believe.
Yeah. You want 25 at 6-1?
No, because if it's a 7-game series, it'll probably play out where he, I don't like my chances, but.
All this talk about Halliburton, and we had the Reggie Miller T-shirt on in the Garden after they beat him. And this Brunson's been unbelievable. But last year, Game 1, he had 43. Game 2, he had 29. Game 5, he had 44. Game 6, he had 31. Then he got hurt in Game 7.
Yeah.
But it's just this guy. Who saw this coming? This guy, other than the family. He bet on himself. He is so good. Mm-hmm. He turned around the organization. To me, he's a top 5 Knick with what he's been able to do. And this, what a phenomenal story here. And the Mavs let him walk for nothing.
What's going to be, by the way, side note, what's the reaction by the fans in the city if they win this series? Again,
you think it gets out of control, huh?
Oh, my God.
7th Street, you couldn't walk down there going after poor Brian Windhorst. I don't know how the guy got up there on the screen.
No, neither do I.
With the crew sent to us that video.
That's already out of control.
I know.
For beating Boston, it was way out of control.
Yeah.
And so if they beat the Pacers to get back to the NBA Finals, all bets are off. I don't know what the hell's going to happen.
They're hungry. I mean, you got these young fans who have never seen this before.
I know.
They don't remember Ewing in the late 90s and going against Jordan. And
I want to tell the fans to act like they've been there before. Right. They haven't.
Yeah.
So they're losing their damn minds. I mean, I got to tell you this. It would be awesome to be there and be a part of it. That would be phenomenal because what matches this in this country? I don't know if we've seen anything. I mean, this is like a college campus.
How so?
For a pro team just to get this far and that whole part of the city.
Cubs. When the Cubs
when they won the whole thing.
Right.
But we're not even the finals for the conference begin tonight. And they're already going that nuts.
To be that jacked up this early. So you're only halfway there. Right. Okay, I got you.
To beat Paul.
You're only halfway there. Okay.
If they beat the Pacers, this is going to be remember when that happened to be the thing where when a team would win the national title in college basketball, like the college campus would burn cars and they flip stuff upside down and thousands of kids were just going crazy? That's what's going to happen in Manhattan. But times 100 because it's a numbers game there with the population.
Makes sense. Then you have the angle going after the Halliburton fan, too, the Pacer fan. Smarter bets start here and last all year long with VSiN Pro. Sign up, get the annual subscription, 14 months, just $1.99. Promo code PRO. 2 months for free, less than 50 cents a day. Every best bet, every host, every guest. The daily email from Bill 80, the betting splits, the dog videos, the trends from Mackinnon, all the breakdowns, WNBA, soccer, every sport covered. VSiN.com/subscribe. Code PRO. Lock it in. Get it now. VSiN.com/subscribe.
Big Dog just came in as the Royals, almost a $2 dog, defeated Logan Webb and the Giants 8-4. Game just finished right now in San Francisco. Matt Youmans on the program coming up next. How he's betting the Knicks Pacers tonight, golf this week, and he made a Heisman bet. I'm intrigued. Find out who it is next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Get some best bets here with VSiN host Matt Youmans. He joins the program, and he is on the progressive guest line. Matt, good to talk to you as always. You know, in the previous segment, we played that clip of you last night on your show, Primetime, discussing Game 1 of the Thunder and the Wolves and how you said, yeah, maybe I'd take 10, but now it's 7. I'm going to wait because you said, I guarantee you can get a better number on the Timberwolves. You also could have gotten a better number on the Thunder last night, and you talk about that all the time in the NBA. Is that your approach tonight for Game 1, Knicks Pacers, with New York being a 4.5-point favorite, or do you like something here before tip?
I don't like anything before tip, and that's a good question because we talk about this every night on the live betting show. If you're patient, if you wait throughout the game, you're probably going to get, 4 out of 5 times, if not 9 out of 10 times, you're going to get a better number on either side. And that was true last night with Oklahoma City that slow start by the Thunder. At one point, the line dropped to basically a pick 'em, and the T-Wolves flipped to 1.5-point favorites in the first half. And that's when you buy low on the Thunder if you like the Thunder pregame but didn't bet it. And then obviously there are a lot of bettors I know who like the T-Wolves in last night's game. I sort of did too, but I wasn't going to bet it at +7 or 7.5. I was going to wait live and see if I could get 10.5 or 11. Well, T-Wolves get a lead. I lost some interest in betting the T-Wolves in the second half, and things started to go the other way, so I didn't bet it. But I really think these NBA playoff games are so volatile with so many runs that you're better off betting live than you are taking a big stance pregame. Unless you love something pregame, then go ahead. And sometimes you can set yourself up in a good position in the middle, and you can take a middle shot or something like that with live betting, which is always a pretty good idea too. But nothing in Knicks Pacers for me pregame tonight. I think this is going to be a tight game. Obviously, I think it's going to be a tight, long series. And I've got a few bets on this series, but not on game one.
What do you think happens with pace and tempo?
Pacers are really efficient offensively, and they can, if they force the tempo and make the Knicks play fast, I think that's what they want to do. And when you watch the Pacers, they can put you in a deep hole when they get hot from three. And that's obviously what they're going to try to do is spread the Knicks out and spread the floor with shooters. Pacers can be really a really impressive team. I just think when I look at this series as a whole, I think the Knicks are going to try to slow it down. Jalen Brunson's going to try to be the head of the snake. Is going to control the tempo and the pace of these games and kind of force, especially the games at the Garden, kind of force the Pacers to play the Knicks style. And when I look at the Pacers, I think they're a little soft in the middle. And the Knicks are a little bit tougher. Now, Karl Anthony Towns doesn't play around the basket as much as he should, but with Mitchell Robinson and the Knicks' strength around the basket, I think that's something they have to exploit. I like Jalen Brunson as the better point guard, and I think the Knicks are just a little bit tougher team. I mean, when you break down the series as a whole, like Jimmy the Greek used to do when he was with Brent Musburger on NFL Today on CBS, you check all the boxes. The one box that the Pacers clearly have the advantage is in the superfan category because they have Wes Reynolds and Indy Jeff Seeley, and the Knicks have Screamin' A. Smith and Spike Lee. Mm-hmm. So the Pacers have a big advantage in the superfan category, but I think the Knicks have more advantages, more check marks in general. And Brunson, I've been a big Brunson fan all the way back to Villanova. I thought the Mavericks were crazy to let him go. All this talk about the Mavs letting Luka go, don't forget, they let Jalen Brunson go basically for nothing. They offered him a contract that's in today's NBA terms basically peanuts, and he went to New York, and that was a great pickup by the Knicks, and that's why they are where they are today. And not enough is said about the first big mistake the Mavericks made, and that's letting Jalen Brunson go. I think he's going to be the difference in this series. He's averaging 28.8 points in the playoffs, and I expect him to have a big first two games here. And like I said, I think it's going to be a long series, you guys. And I don't want to. I rarely like to bet game one of a series. I think you can find better spots to bet throughout the series, whether you're playing zigzag or whatever you're playing. So maybe if I see something live tonight, I'll bet it if there's a big number out there when there's a run one way or another. But I do think the Knicks win a long series. It's a tight series. I bet over 5.5 games, -170. I bet the Knicks to win in 7 at 4-1 odds, +400, and the Knicks to win the series at -150. Now, we have Paul Bovey, another Knicks super fan, on the show last night. You guys won't believe Bovey. I think he ran the stairs of the Empire State Building yesterday. He swam laps in the pool for a half hour. He did push-ups in the hotel fitness room for an hour. And he put on a super small shirt and came on and did a segment with us last night on the show. Bovey said it's going to be quick. Knicks in a quick series. I think it's going to be a long series.
Maybe the fandom there setting in for Paul as well. Wishful thinking maybe a little bit. Yeah. Did you bet Scotty Scheffler 3-1 to win the Charles Schwab this week?
I was I just walked out of the South Point Sportsbook. I was talking to the legend, Jimmy Vaccaro. And South Point's actually got Scheffler at +220 to win this tournament. I am not going to bet him, Mitch. I told you I bet Scheffler a couple weeks ago in Texas at +275 when he faced a similarly weak field. And he ran away with, I think he went 31 under and won by 8 strokes. I'm not going to play him this week. There could be a hangover from the PGA. I think there was a lot more motivation for him to win in that previous Texas tournament prior to the PGA because he had not won yet in 2025. So I don't think he has a lot of motivation this week, and the hangover effect as well. Read Wes Reynolds' golf column. I think he's got a couple pretty good suggestions in there for longer shots this week. If you want to take a shot, I like Harris English, by the way, and I think that's a player Wes might have tipped. I bet English at 200-1 in the PGA last week, and he went 6 under on Sunday, went crazy, and he ended up tying for second. Well, I got nothing for him tying for second, but I think he's playing well enough where you could take a look at a player like that this week. If Scotty Scheffler does not have his A game, and I'd be a little bit surprised if he does have his A game this week.
Okay, we just talked to Paul Stone. He likes TCU week 1 against Belichick. Also likes Baylor against Auburn. What did you do with a college football future?
I bet Arch Manning, 8-1 to win the Heisman. And typically not going to bet a guy in single-digit odds, but I've got a friend who goes to Texas football practices in Austin. He said, you're not going to believe Arch Manning when you see him. He's put on several pounds of muscle. We know he's 6'4", 225, and he's mobile. He's a hell of an athlete, like his grandpa, and not really like Peyton and Eli. But he can get out and run. He causes problems for defenses. But he said the biggest difference you're going to see in Arch Manning is his arm strength has improved, his accuracy, and this guy can zip it down the field. And with the added muscle he has put on, he looks like a totally different player. So he's miles ahead of where he was a year ago. And I also read comments from an NFL scout who said if the draft were today, there's no doubt Arch Manning would be the number 1 pick. That said, I wouldn't be surprised if Arch stays at Texas for 2 seasons. I mean, he's making more than $6 million this year to be the quarterback of the Longhorns, right? So there's no urgency. He doesn't need the money. If the Browns have the top pick, he doesn't want to go to Cleveland. He's not coming out. I think the better bet right now is Arch to win the Heisman at 8-1 instead of Arch to be the number 1 draft pick next spring. He's got the big games right off the bat too. Texas at Ohio State on August 30th, at Florida on October 5th, and a game at Georgia on November 15th. I know Manning had only 90 pass attempts last year, 9 TDs, 4 rush TDs, but I saw enough to put me on him at 8-1 to win the Heisman because I think Texas as a team's going to be good enough. I think Arch is going to be for real when you finally see him, and I am going to look for some longer shots on the board. One guy I would recommend, I mentioned that game, Texas and Florida in October. DJ Lagway, the Florida quarterback, is a long shot you might want to look at in the 25 or 30-1 range.
Yeah, and by the way, the first book I looked at right now, to win the national title, updated odds at the Westgate, they have Texas at 4-1. They're the short shot over there, and they're ahead of Ohio State and some others. And here at Circa, Texas is at plus 550, so they're one of the shortest shots on the board as well. So I saw something like, some of these draft people looking at the next year, they're basically saying that Texas is going to be loaded at almost every position again next year. Surprise, surprise, right?
Texas is spending a ton of money on the roster, and that team was good enough to win the national championship last season. I think Manning is going to be a big upgrade over Quinn Ewers. I was never a Ewers guy, and obviously the NFL was not either because Quinn Ewers went in the 7th round of the draft of the Dolphins, and Arch Manning could be the number 1 overall pick. So I do like that. Buckeyes are going to be breaking in a new quarterback in that August 30th game too. Manning's going to be a more experienced quarterback. If Texas wins that game, he's going to be down to about 2-1 plus 250 to win the Heisman.
Good point. Follow Matt on X. He's at Matt Youmans 24/7. We appreciate it, Matt. Good luck tonight, okay?
Okay, you bet. Thanks.
Thank you.
There you go. They're 4-1 at Westgate to win the national title. Whew, wow. I'd like to do like parlay of like Arch Manning winning the Heisman in Texas, not being a playoff team because that's going to be so high, but like making the Final Four or making the national title game, something like that.
Do you remember midway through the season what these odds were for these guys to go number 1 overall? Ewers, Beck.
Oh my God, yes.
Beck,
they were the
Sanders
on the
it was
board.
crazy.
Yes.
Guy went 7th round.
Yeah, they
he was
were like
one of the top choices to go number 1.
I think Carson Beck was a short shot at one point at 6-1.
Huh. Oh man.
All right, we'll recap our bets from last night and tell you what we're betting tonight and moving forward in Pocket Plays. Coming up on Follow the Money, it's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3 to 1 odds. Nope. 5 to 1. Nope. 10 to 1. You're up.
Oh, good with the hockey. Shocked what happened. I'm not going to kill Mitch either to say it's over. I mean, that was a horrible performance by Carolina.
Well,
they have lost 13 in a row now in the conference finals. And 2 power play goals. They allowed 5 goals. Yikes.
I said I don't want to overreact.
Yeah.
But I'd like to know the path for Carolina to come back and beat this team over 7 games.
Yeah, tomorrow's big. No doubt. But that's the one you're supposed to get. All the pending. We're ready to go tonight. Can't wait. Wes Reynolds against Paul Bovey. Pacers to win the East 19-1. Hurricanes exact over the Stars 11-1 and 14-1. Lions under 10.5 wins. Saturday, for all the marbles, the winner gets promoted, goes up to the Premier League. Sheffield United against Sunderland under 2.5. Cat, most rebounds in the conference finals, both series -$2. Halliburton, same way, assists $2. The double, Thunder to win game 1 in the series -170. And then the new, got like game 1 under tonight. Bet game 1 with Dallas and Edmonton 6.5. Charlton, Leyton Orient, under 2.5. Playoff game. Winner gets promoted. League 1 on Sunday from Wembley. Man City, $1.70 against Fulham. That is Sunday. Final day of the Premier League. Nigel Seeley will be joining us Friday. Got to come right back with Anderson saves under 23.5. This is 6 straight winners. He had 15 saves last night.
Yep.
Florida went 15 minutes without a shot and still spanked them. Under 23.5 tomorrow. And Cat, under 1.5 made threes tonight. Plus money. We'll see. He was great against the Pacers in the regular season. He was 3 of 19 against Boston from 3. So I'm going to go under tonight and take the plus money. And looking forward to this one tonight, which should be a wild series and a geeked up Madison Square Garden. Let's go.
All right. Winners and losers from last night. Naz Reid over 15.5 points and rebounds. Man, oh man. He combined for 12. He had 8 rebounds, 4 points. He had every imaginable open look that I would ever want from him. It was not his night.
Crazy.
You know, that's part of the deal, man.
Yep.
If you told me again that he was going to have that many open looks, that many shots, I would have emptied out every account on it. But just couldn't knock him down. It is what it is, and you move on. He did go over the 5.5 rebounds. He had 8. Scooble got there with over 6.5 Ks. And the Fever, now a wire-to-wire job for the Dream. Hello, Jeffrey Lurie. So that did not get there. Pending. Tigers most wins in May. We're cooking. 16-1. The Twins lost, by the way, the second game to the Guardians. That's over. But so the Tigers and the Twins, they each have 14 wins. The Phillies have 13. They're a $2 favorite tonight against the Rockies. And the Soto MVP number, that's now 35-1, by the way, if you're expecting him to come back and get go on a tear. But that was 20-1 when I bet that tonight. And some other stuff. Josh Hart to lead this series. We're on opposite ends here at plus 550 in rebounds. Hunter Brown over 6.5 Ks. Like the matchup, I did not factor in the environment, the 90 degrees, and the good ballpark conditions today for batters. That's a loser. And I'm on DeGrom tonight, first 5 against the Yankees, minus 130 in that spot.
All right. This summer, go all in, Circa Las Vegas. Ultimate getaway package is $400. 2-night stay at Circa. $100 dining credit, $100 beverage credit, your own daybed at Stadium Swim where the party never stops. All for $400. Ask for Taryn, ask for Sydney. What a time. May 26th, September 4th. It's valid. Lock it in. All in summer package now. CircaLasVegas.com. I retweeted this earlier today from Tom Cruise. I'm jealous. Maybe Luke can make this happen. Who knew? I mean, the guy was open for business, but you can get these celebrities on if they have something to promote. McAfee had Tom Cruise on for half an hour today, the day before the movie comes out. What a get.
Yeah, I saw some of the clips. I have to go back and watch the whole thing. I got to tell you, I don't know if there's anybody else I'd rather, for half an hour, he'd be at the very top of the list to talk to.
Yeah.
That's a total, like, dream scenario there.
Great. I know.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just...
amazing get for that show.
He reminds me of Tyson in terms of the 180, right?
Yeah, because you know what?
You go back to the Matt Lauer stuff. You go back to Katie Holmes, the Scientology stuff. And now it's Oprah. Oprah, too, was kind of like, boy, this guy's lost it. The Oprah jumping on the couch. I mean, between Top Gun and these movies get better every time. It's incredible.
So I still have...
he's awesome now. And to put his life on the line and do his own and insist I'm doing my own stunts. Matt Damon told the story. I think it was on Kimmel. But he's having dinner with Tom Cruise, and Cruise is like, well, they said we're not going to be able to climb the Dubai, whatever the name of the tall building is.
Right.
And my safety guy's like, no, can't do it. So I get a new safety guy, and then I go up, and he's just like, what Tom Cruise wants, he gets, and he'll do all these crazy stunts and climb this, and he's hanging off an airplane in this movie and jumping out of planes in the last one, and oh, man.
So I still have people to this day who tell me they don't like him because of jumping on the couch with Oprah.
Well, who cares?
And that's what I tell them.
These are unbelievable movies.
Like, hold on. That's 20 plus years ago.
That too.
And so you're going to say that moment in his life for 2 minutes was enough for you to say, forget that guy, I can't stand him, rather than the unbelievable movie making he's made for the 20 years since then?
Right.
I mean, clearly what he does and puts into these movies and like the entertainment value that you get for 2.5 hours every single time that you go and watch him is better than anything negative that he's done, like jumping on the couch for 2 minutes. Who cares? He lost his mind for one brief minute in his entire career up on, a big stage like that with Oprah Winfrey. And I totally agree with what Miles Teller said after the last Mission Impossible, who played Rooster, right?
Okay.
When he said Tom Cruise absolutely should be up and win like Oscars for the best actor because nobody does what he does. Thank you very much for that, by the way.
Good line. Puts his life on the line.
All these guys that get 1,000, you say this all the time, 1,000 takes to get it down right, and they're playing somebody with a southern accent or whatever it might be. Oh, boy, can you believe the range here on this guy?
All right.
Is that really better than what Tom Cruise does with all the stunts and what they do and how much time and effort and money they put into making it that enjoyable? No, it's not. It's not. And it's criminal that the guy doesn't get rewarded for, awards like that.
Yeah.
So I can't wait. I'm going. I told Lorraine already. We have a 1-year-old. I mean, look, you're either getting a babysitter this weekend and we're going to go together, or I'm going to go to, I've been to one movie on my own in my entire life. I will go to the movie by myself if I have to this weekend.
I believe the last two, I went back-to-back days.
I did.
So because like you're like can't keep up. It's so much.
Yep.
It's like the first 90 minutes. It's just nonstop. You don't even have time to go to the bathroom if you want. It's just like it's crazy.
Part 6 is.
I think 6 is the best. Fallout.
It is.
Good luck ranking them. Which 2 is the worst. But other than that, ranking them in order, then forget about it.
I would agree.
Awesome. But that guy's got range. Rain Man, Risky Business, Born on the 4th of July.
He's got an unbelievable resume. No doubt. If the Knicks win this series tonight, and win the game tonight, and it's a close game throughout, and they win like a 2-point game or a 3-point game.
Okay.
Would you think about coming back? I know that you got them 19-1 already. That point, Pacers. And what if the Knicks get a friendly whistle like OKC last night?
That could happen.
I think I might hop in the Pacers end to win the series.
Yeah, I'm worried about the calls Brunson might get.
Yeah.
I'm worried about this too, and I hate to say it. I think an injury could decide this.
Oh, what do you do?
I do. I really do.
You're just going to derail everything.
Well, no, come on. You had the Curry injury.
Oh, God.
You had what happened to Gordon.
Stop talking, please.
You saw what happened last year. Well, if you're going to get a frenetic pace,
I can't wait to see your Twitter mentions if a guy goes down right away in this game tonight.
It's an analysis. It's an opinion. I think a big injury could happen.
You're predicting injuries.
I said, like it hasn't happened in the NBA playoffs.
Well, we should do that. We should do it before every game.
What are you talking about?
Let's bet on guys that get injured.
There's a reason for the it's because you'll get a crazy pace, could be, and then the Knicks don't have a lot of depth, and plus we're in the conference finals now. The wear and tear, what could happen? Tatum, out. Curry, out. Gordon, out. Well, look at you.
Oh my God!
I'm okay.
This is from.
I'll take the heat. I think we could see a big injury.
This is from Gary on X. As a Knicks and Rangers fan since the 70s.
Okay.
What's going on in New York with the Knicks is epic. I drove into the city in '94 after the Rangers won the Cup to celebrate.
Yeah.
Beating the Pacers would match that party. Just by beating the Pacers, it would match the Rangers winning the Cup.
I was listening to a couple people. They say everyone goes out. It's Knicks. Everyone's got the Knicks stuff on. Orange and blue skies. It's crazy what it's like right now.
No, I mean, again, it would be phenomenal to be back in that area right now for sure. There's no doubt. Primetime's next. Scott Seinberg, 4 hours in the Cashing Out, Joe Serralo, and wake up tomorrow with Dave and Jets at 7 o'clock Eastern. We'll see you.